Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. How are you doing there, Connor? Hello there, Doomzilla, good to have you. Indeed, it is the evening here, about 5 to 6, the eternal evening that seems to have developed as of current pandemic. Yeah, I'm feeling better today, Doom. I was a little bit drowsy last night. Yeah, that was an interesting evening. How you doing there, Paul? Good to have you, my man. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get right on into this then. Now, I've not honestly had the time to do a lot of the summaries in the last few days. We've had turns coming in left, right, and centre, which has been quite good. We have had a lot of logistical work. Infinite Monkey did volunteer to do a lot of the behind-the-scenes work, which is very nice of him, really. Very nice. Shock and awe. Interesting, okay. I wonder what he means by that. I do wonder what he means by that. Hey, doing there, Paul? Good to have you. This is the THG game. And I said that T-he. So this is a problem now, because obviously I'm still on with the Japanese studies. It's like he is like a Japanese character. And I'm getting confused. Let's not do that. I wonder if he's going to go ahead and bombard. Was it Baker Island, or is it... Yes, I think it's Baker Island. If I recall, I don't think there's anybody actually at Baker Island, so... okay. He might go ahead and land there, but that's kind of what we thought might happen. In which case, okay, he does. There's not much I can do about this moment in time. I've won the war, and the war won. Yeah, I like that. I'm glad to see you there, Paul. How you doing there, my man? Oh, that's a big boy. Oh. Fuck off. Well. Fuck's sake. God damn it. At least we know there's a tanker there. He has this awful... Oh, well. Well, you lose some, you get some. I would have preferred the tanker, though. Yeah, that would have been nice if he'd there. But if he doesn't have any escorts, then he will be able to chase it down. But he may have it head back and that immediately sinks there. So at least we have that there. Yeah, no. I mean, this is it. 2 torpedoes launched from the... Seta, really? Temporary flotation? That's a very interesting thing there. Have to check that out. I can't recall an AO that would have had any damage. Oh no, it would have been the AO from Luganville. That would be it. Okay, so his landing force is over here on Baker Island. Okay. I'd be intrigued to see what unit it is. That'll give us some information there to work with. As far as I'm aware, I don't think there was actually anything at Baker Island in terms of supply, but he's more than welcome to have a damage base, that's fine. We'll take it back in the future if we indeed ever take it back at all, really. We'll see what happens. But the interesting thing is we actually do get a preview into how he operates here. He didn't bombard the base first and foremost. He landed straight up, which, fair enough. Yeah, potentially so. Something like that could be done. We'll take a look. I mean, I'm going to be rather intrigued to see which unit it is. We did see some infantry, guns, and etc. there, so I'll be intrigued. Overall, it's not something of any real significance, really. It would have been rather a pain at Canton Island due to the fact I have H6K4s that are needing to be moved out there. It doesn't have a tremendous amount of units available for amphibious operations, so I will be rather intrigued to see which unit it is. Possibly so, therefore. I mean, it's not something we actually check for detection over the base. Taco. Ooh, that was fortunate there. And that is a bombardment task force, by the way. 4 heavy cruisers going in this time. Ooh, yeah, that was fortunate. I mean, we didn't get the torpedo on the tanker, but in fairness, if that meant we didn't get the torpedo on the heavy cruiser, then I think that's probably a fair exchange in the way of fate. I'm rather glad that didn't happen there. Is it deep water in the Solomon Sea? I think it must be. Yeah, that's one of those Pokemon moments indeed. Fortunate, fortunate. Okay. I can't recall if we actually have the ASW Key 48 still operating around that area. I have to double check on that. Okay. Oh yes, I think that would answer it. We are detecting them. You know, these G4s are going in there unescorted, which is a little bit of a worrying issue. It seems I had them moved, but I can't remember that. Yeah, this is the only issue. I feel like I've forgotten a lot of things here. I'm gonna have to get reacquainted. Yeah, lines of communication. Okay. So you sent quite a few forces in there. That's interesting regarding bombers. I think it did say about bombers, or aircraft at least, over the base, which is intriguing. That might be another carrier, perhaps? We'll see about that. I imagine that is going to signal his intention to move towards the Coral Sea, or towards that sort of area, which, okay. It's good experience, and it does obviously have them use their supply. Still worthwhile doing, really. So we have seen some ships just off the Aussie coast there to the south, just by Sydney it looked like. Yeah, a few ships out there at Baker. Okay. I'm going to be very intrigued to see what, if any, information we have over there. Okay, do we get to see which unit it is? No, I was hoping we would. I can't recall if he will attack. I can't recall if it's an atoll. If it's an atoll, he will attack today. We'll soon see. Oh yes, we are attacking once again at Singapore here today. We had to do this due to the airfield damage dropping below the required amount for us to be comfortable. But we'll see about that. Not too sure when it will fall. I know it's going to fall soon. That goes without doubt, really. I don't think it will be today. It could be today, but I don't think it will be today. It'll be soon, though. I'll be intrigued to see what happens here today. I did have one of the divisions with less... well, with more fatigue and disruption than I would have preferred, but we'll see how they turn out. Looks like he had a unit destroyed there, which is a good sign. Yeah, so 11th Indian Division there, take a few hits. He does have 9th Indian Division, which is a large unit and will hurt him when he loses it, actually. But that's the big one holding us up to the degree here. Oh, shit! Oh my god! It finally happens. It finally happens. I didn't think it was going to actually happen today, but that's nice. Right, thank bloody god we can get the campaign back into motion. Right. See, I'm going to have to decide what we do with the forces here, but the good news now is we can have the division split up so they can rest. We're going to have them, we're going to really have to take a look at what we do here. I'm very much considering having the divisions actually shifted to Java so we can go ahead and take Java rather quickly. I don't need to keep the divisions in Java, well, terribly long, but long enough to make use of them, really. Batavia seems to be where he has most of his men there. So if I could subdue Batavia, it would be good there. But we'll see, we'll see. So we had terrain and leaders. We got 3-to-1 odds there. Look at that. That's a nice assault value roll there. 4,230 to 1,193 there. We suffered. I'm really glad about that. I'm really glad about that. That makes such a difference. The reason why I'm a little bit subdued now is because it feels like such a long time coming. So 4 squads destroyed there, 10 disabled, sorry, 101 disabled, 15, 44, 61, 94, 5 destroyed, 14, 9, 8, okay. And that is 42,236 allies there, 1,231 squads, 4,211 non-combatants, 294 engineers, 662 guns, 453 vehicles, and 32 units destroyed there. Yeah, I think 2 divisions and a division from Banjo and Banjo Mason would be likely enough. We are attacking the Lark Battalion here as well, but that's fantastic news. Indeed it is there, Parmentier. Indeed it is. Good to have you, by the way. I hope you're doing well. So attack here, then. Just deliberate attack. A couple disabled, but we inflict some casualties here, then. So destroyed a squad, a few more disabled. Interestingly enough, he's not complaining about lack of supply, and I find that one really rather intriguing, but we'll just keep deliberate attacking. So we do have the attacks here to secure the islands around the area. Yep, I'm very glad that it's finally happened there. It does free up a tremendous amount of assets now, which is excellent. Take that base. Very nice. Okay, excellent, excellent news. Yeah, see, this is it. I'd have a mind to potentially send in forces to Luzon in the future. Mindanao needs to go as well, but we'll deal with them in time. I mean, this is in the Danman campaign, we definitely committed to Luzon. I wasn't initially going to commit to it anywhere near as much at first, but then it's a funny way how things work out in the end. But I'm so very glad that Singapore has fallen. Didn't expect it to fall today, to be honest, but that's really nice. We had a great roll, and it was coming soon. I didn't expect it today, but I'm so very happy about that. So what we need to do immediately then is we'll have the divisions divided up into groups of 3, and then we'll have them all rest, try and recover them as quickly as possible. I'm going to be intrigued to see what Singapore has for us. I don't imagine an overly large amount of anything, but we never know. And we made it, well, I made it hard for myself by not understanding the game in the early days. Like, I allowed him far too much time to move into Singapore. Should have kept the airfield suppressed all the time. But this is it. A lesson learned, and we can definitely see the difference here. Capturing Singapore March 21st, 1942, rather than in January makes a colossal difference. And we'll take a look then. So we have inside the base then 21,000, but that could be ours there. A small amount of fuel, but still that's good. The base is actually in perfect order, which is fantastic. That's very nice to work with. There's no repairs that need to be spent. I suppose that's not too bad then. I suppose we didn't capture overly much, but we don't have to spend any supply. How did the facilities go on here? Is the one with damage? I always forget which one it is. Yeah, so the one is the damage there. So we took it actually relatively intact, which is really nice there. I think that's because we just had such an overwhelming amount there. But at least that's something then. We didn't capture that much with it, but at least we have that. Do you still stream through YouTube? How you doing there, Fenway? Good to have you, by the way. I've switched over to Twitch for the most part. The reason being, it's just much fairer when it comes to actually, well, just rewards for the actual, well, for myself, really, which sounds really selfish. But I'll put it this way, it's like, after having 9 people subscribe here on Twitch, we're there, and because obviously if you have Amazon Prime, or if you want to, like, subscribe as well, and yeah, I'll talk about the Amazon Prime method, because it doesn't cost people anything, which is nice, and I like that. Essentially, if you have Amazon Prime, you subscribe, you should get, like, one free subscription, so people who have that Amazon Prime give me their subscription, so I get a few dollars from them, which doesn't cost them, it's Twitch pays it. And I had to pay out with 9 subscriptions versus having to have like tens of thousands of monetized views on YouTube. So it's far better here on Twitch than it is on YouTube. Albeit there are some weird aspects to Twitch. But no, that's a very good result there. Excellent. Okay, so let's take a look at the forces that we have here then. Yes, I'll show those shortly therefore. Right, I'm really quite happy that the base is actually good to go, but what I'm going to do here then... I may have everybody set to rest here actually, barring... yeah. I'm going to have everybody set to rest for the time being. What I'll do then is have like HQs obviously remain in combat. Hey, doing there, Felix? That's a good idea, my man. How long will it take for the Imperial Guard to recover completely? It depends really. They're going to be in a large base with plenty of support. I may potentially keep the army headquarters here, but I could do with having an army headquarter in Java. The good news is I can have 7 army head north now, which is very useful for us. It's going to be a question of, we'll kind of have to wait and see how it goes there. Oh man, that'd be much appreciated by Fenrir. No, I mean, the awesome part is even if you have like Amazon Prime, it just doesn't cost you anything extra, which is nice. It'd be much appreciated either way. But don't worry about it if you don't, or anything like that, that's fine. Yeah, that's what I'm saying there for. It'd be nice to have one in Java, but having one in Burma would be nice. We can have 7 army head north, so we can actually have a command headquarters within range there. Right, this will speed up their recovery here pretty nicely. Yeah, I mean, this is it. We do have minesweepers nearby, as Infinite Monkey says here. But this is it. It's good result there. Very glad. We do have a couple of regiments over here. They're going to have to recover as well. We do have replacement sets on here. So there's a lot of AV here that does need to recover. But the good news is that we'll be able to have it done fairly quickly. You can see a lot of fatigue there on the 5th Division, but they did a damn good job. That went really well, actually. Surprisingly bloody well. The armor? Do we have any armor here? No, we do not have any armor here. Artillery. We have plenty of artillery over here, and a lot of these units are independent units. In fact, all of these units are independent units. So, what we'll do then is we'll allow them to rest this turn. We'll have to decide where they're going to be going. We're likely going to have to use them in Burma, considering the fact that he has built up there. These guys can rest here as well. We do have these engineer regiments. I mean, this unit here forms the 55th Division. And I have elements of that, so the good news is I can actually have the 55th reformed in Singapore then. And that does make it actually far easier to recover it then. But we need to go ahead and clear Singapore of mines, and I'll do that shortly. So we can take a look at aircraft losses here today. But you can see that's actually turned the scores around, which is very nice. I'm really happy about that. So, a Mavis a day, I don't even know what that aircraft is. We're away, and a Hudson, and an A29 Hudson. Yes, there's a unit there, and I think either the other part of its unit is nearby. It might... I think it's actually over here. It might be that one. Yeah, that one's got elements in either on 192 and Singapore. It's a pain in the ass because it needs to go to like a large port, because this is 32cm mortars. It needs to go to a large port, but the issue is I don't know if I have a port large enough to handle it. So it seems over here that the size 2 port it was struggling. So I don't know. Would have to double check about that. It may be that maybe I need to transport it via cargo, but I no transport perhaps. I'm not too sure. It should transport. It should transfer. It got in there. It should be able to get out. But we'll see about that. Something I need to double check. But no, that's an excellent result. I'm really happy about that. Very good, very good. Okay. Yes, it allows me to move a lot of units out of this area that are no longer required. But if we take a look at the actual air power we have here. Oh man, that'd be much appreciated there, Fenrir. Thank you so very much. I'm just glad that you enjoy what I do. I don't do it particularly professional. I don't really do particularly that much, but I enjoy it. Well, I really like the fact you guys enjoy it. It means a tremendous amount. Right, so we have these aircraft over here then. I'm going to have them told to stand down and rest across the board here. But what we will do then is obviously take a look at what we need to do. Shift them around as needed. It's an RAF flying boat. Awesome. Thanks, Fanni. I'd kiss you if I could. But I wouldn't want to give you my cold. Or maybe you'd like that. I don't know. I don't judge. Right, okay. They can continue. For the time being, anyhow. Right, so we'll take a look at what we have here, what we need, and where those needs are. But that frees up a significant amount of assets here. And that's excellent because I did have a die near the bombers in the north, and that's going to be very nice. Now, I can't recall, Moonlight should be increasing. I can't recall, is it increasing or decreasing? I forget which one it was doing now. Right, but we will be able to actually have the assets moved over here to the north and then be able to prepare for the just destruction of the British forces over here in Burma. He has a large amount of force, but then that means he has a large amount invested here. So if it is destroyed, it's going to hurt. It's increasing. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I think the way we go about this then is he does have his forces held up over here in Rangoon. He does have a fair amount of forces over here, 21,000. It's not an insignificant amount. He has a few men over here, but I say a few men, but that looks like large units. So he has a large number of units here. What we need to do then really is drive on towards Pegu. and then drive north, isolate Rangoon, and then reduce it. What I would like to do then is be able to seize control of the skies over here if I can. There's a lot of ships in here, but I don't imagine many that are actually useful. As warships, I should say. But what I would like to do then is actually have AKEs somewhere nearby. AKEs over here at BLeAcHACiD would be nice, but we'd like to actually go ahead and bombard Pegu, ideally with as many guns as we could manage, and try and drive them out there. It's clear terrain. There's nothing to be gained really from Pegu, there's nothing to be lost from Pegu, so bombarding it would be nice. What we need to do then is essentially isolate Rangoon. Hey, doing that, Grim? Good to have you, my man. Okay, so we do have our forces heading north. So what I can go ahead and do then is actually take additional assets here. AA there. Okay. The Hex north of BLeAcHACiD. You could bombard there, yes, you could. Yeah, I know, right? We finally got it. We finally got Singapore. I'm really quite surprised about that. Really quite surprised, but it was very good there. I mean, can I see how many victory points that was worth? It would have been worth a fair amount. I mean, this is it. It's not a dramatic victory as it would have been in the earlier days. Would have me clearly. I mean, this is it. It's not as important as it would have been in the early days because, well, if we'd have taken it in the early days, we would have been able to do so much more than this. But it's still important. It's a good roadblock that has been cleared. I think we will have 2 divisions sent down to Java. I do have a division over here and some additional support. That would give us around about, depending on the condition of the divisions, around about 1200 AV or so. We should be able to deal with Batavia. He does have fortifications over here in Batavia, but we can deal with that. We do have Wales. We do have Wales. We do have ways of dealing with that, and Wales as well. We weren't aware of a tanker around here actually, so I'm gonna have to look for that, and we'll try and track that down. That'd be ideal. We see some troll boats over here, or gunboats over here actually. Okay. So he did land and capture Baker Island today. Looks to be a smallish unit as far as I can tell. These guys are stood down as they're being repaired. I do need to get supply out here pretty desperately. That's the big problem that I can't but I can get supply out there. Things are going relatively well over here. I mean, it would suck to lose the Haste's K4s, but I don't think it's going to happen. They probably will just go into a state where they're just going to be disabled. But we'll be able to get a supply convoy down that way. I don't need overly much. Hey, didn't there, Major? Good to have you, my man. Yeah. What's the chat? We finally got Singapore. After all this time here in this game, finally got it. I mean, we didn't capture overly much, as I said earlier on, but we captured it more or less intact. The only thing that wasn't intact was one bit of heavy industry, which, as I said earlier, is not too bad, really. We don't capture that much, but I don't have to spend anything to repair it. The base is already good to go from the outset, so that's not bad at all, really. I'm just looking now to see what assets we can move. Yeah, I mean, this is it. It should have been captured far earlier, but I'm glad that we have it now. We can at least make use of it now, so I'm quite happy about that. Right, let's take a look at these forces here. 18 of 30. That's a fair amount of fatigue there. I don't recall him having an overly large amount of resistance here, but I'm going to give them at least another day to recover that fatigue. I want it lower if I can. Below 25 would be acceptable. Disruption lower would be nice too. So yeah, we'll aim for about 2 divisions. It looks like, from what we've seen from reconnaissance over here in Java, it seems as though Surabaya is by far the weakest of the actual bases here. In fairness, the base that he'd actually want to hold out in would be like Mountain Hexes. If he's going to choose to hold out Batavia, it's going to be a pain, of course, but it can be taken. And I'd rather attack him in ×2 rather than ×3, but it seems like we might have to potentially go a number of ways. It could be that we landed in this sort of area, took these bases around here, isolated Batavia, then had a force sweep to take the south, and then return to Batavia, perhaps. As long as I neutralize 99% of Batavia, sorry, 99% of Java, we're doing well. If we have to have a drawn-out siege in Batavia, then we can deal with that. It'd not be fun, but we'd be able to deal with it. Well, this is the thing here, Grim. It's not that he did. It's the fact that I just didn't know what I was doing in the early days. And it's not a slight against the historical gamer. He's a good player. He just had far more... Well, he had more experience than I did at the start of the game. It's like the reason why he was able to hold out at Singapore for so long is because I didn't move anywhere near as fast as I could have moved. I didn't make use of amphibious transports. We had a failed Mersing Gambit. We had a number of things that went wrong because I didn't have the experience to actually pull it off at that time. Had I had the experience that I do now, we would have definitely taken Singapore in much less time. Things can always be improved, but yeah, this is the first play by email campaign. And it's one of those things, it's like my cross to bear now. Oh dear. Hey, Captain Flatbird, I like that name, man. Ah, you guys are nice. You guys are really nice. Good to have you. No, I was talking to Infinite Monkey earlier, by the way. There's actually a board game that he introduced me to, because he knows how to wet my whistle in terms of, like, interesting games. So I went ahead and actually found a listing on eBay for Wingleader. Wingleader Supremacy 1940. No, sorry. Wingleader Victories 1940 to 42 and Wingleader Supremacy 43 to 45. And then he also got me to he's a devilish fellow. He's a devilish fellow. And he also got me to back on Kickstarter. Is it Flying Buffaloes? Buffalo Wings. That's it. Buffalo Wings. Something air combat over Finland in World War II, which looks cool. But anyhow, this actually has a point. I got in contact with the actual guy who made the art, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'll see about getting a commission done for him. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can roughly afford about $150, and he's like, yeah, no, this isn't an image, this is 3D modeling, and it's about $800 at base. I'm like, oh, right, okay, sorry for wasting your time. Yeah, I forgot what the original point was there, but the original point was I was going to get another print made, and it turned out it was more expensive than actually expected. I can't remember what the original point was actually there, but there you go, you learned something. Can we attack at Moresby? Yes, we will. We're lacking 6 supply here, but we're going to go ahead and do that. We should have that supply arrive next turn. There we go. We should have that coincide. Whereabouts are they? Yes. We should have that coincide with the bombardment here. How you doing there, Pistol? Good to have you, my friend. Singapore did fall today, which is excellent. Excellent news indeed. Right, so I can have them placed here. I'm going to have them on bombardment mode now. I could have them told to follow on. They're within 5 hexes of Moresby. Right, I can't recall. Right, if I tell them retirement allowed, I forget which one it is. There's one which has them bombard during the night. Yeah, that's it, as Infinite Monkey says there. So we want to have them remain on station. Otherwise, they would wait for the night of next turn rather than actually bombard. So we'll go ahead and bombard. So I'm going to have them do that. I will have them actually set to the destination. I do not believe they will bombard unless they're actually set to that destination there. I can still have the ASW force follow alongside. I could potentially merge it back in there, but I'm not too sure if that'd be worthwhile. Better to have them in a separate task force actually running it. They are not yet. They will be. We'll have them all set for reconnaissance then. I'll have some set for night and... actually, I don't think we'll need night, frankly. So we'll have them all set for the daytime there. That'll be the actual time of bombardment. I think so anyway. Let's see. We'll count the hexes here. There we go. That's one. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They move 8 per phase. So yeah, that's fine. There we go. So we'll have them set up for that. I do have good detection here, which is nice. You can see he has repaired the port slowly but surely. And the good news is, I'm hoping he would surrender here. But at least when we do attack next turn, we could do one at night, but they've got 8 hexes to go, and they only move 4 hexes per phase. So in the night phase, there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. They'll be here during the night. Had it been like a straight line, they probably would have made it like 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. Something like that, maybe 5-ish. Yeah, it's 8 hexes away. Is it? Oh, they've got 8 hexes to cover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, there we go. Just a little bit too far for them to do it during the night. But that's not too bad. I could potentially have like a cap over top of them, which might be worthwhile doing. We do have a couple zeros here, which could make use of. I'm going to have another attack over here, then continue to deliver it. Actually, let's... 39 and 20. That's a fair amount of disruption there. I'm going to have them stood down for this time being. They're not a threat, so I don't need to actually work them to the bone and destroy them. Okay. So I'm moving the 21st Air Flotilla towards Comac. I may potentially have the 21st Flotilla relocated. It would be useful to still have Comac available for torpedoes. But we'll see about that. I feel like Numera is just, I don't know, it just feels intensely vulnerable. Due to the fact that I am lacking significant aviation support in this area. We do have it moving down there, so we may have it actually changed around where we do position it. But the good news is we do have the ability to position it as we please. We do have some supply. Right, yes. I'm using the fast transports over here to actually shift a few thousand tons of supply over here to Tana. I do have the heavy cruisers and the heavy cruiser and DD over here unloading construction units. They're going to begin working on Tana to turn Tana into a size for airfield over time, which will be part of the backbone over here. But what I need to do is get aviation support on each of these bases, really. That'd be nice. You could turn off Australian supply lines from South America. Well, to truly cut it off, we'd have to move on to New Zealand. New Caledonia is good, it's certainly helpful. It helps to push out our sphere of influence, really. We're not in a position to cut his supply lines per se, but it does make it a little bit more awkward for him, really. It doesn't have a dramatic impact, but it has an impact nonetheless. The impact really, I think, is more so in the Allied imagination, for the most part. Considering that it looks to be worse than it is. And it also puts into his mind the possibility that Australia could be under threat at any sort of time, really. So that's good to know. But yeah, we're looking pretty decent. Once we have Moresby could potentially fall next turn, depends really on the luck of the draw there. It was bombarded not today, but the day before? No, I think it was... No, it wasn't the day before. It might have been about 4 days ago, potentially, at this point in time. He's going to have a bombardment from 4 heavy cruisers on the actual attack, on the day of the attack when we do attack. He should be low on supply. I think when we attacked last time, he was low on supply. And ideally, he'll be so thoroughly disrupted that he surrenders. There's no base for him to retreat to, so I hope he does surrender, but that's something we'll have to double check. The MKBs over here at BLeAcHACiD, I'm really not too sure what I want to do with them at this moment in time. But saying that, having Singapore does actually significantly free up our range of action there. I may potentially have them moved around and actually have them potentially moved around here towards the Andaman Sea if we have the option to do that. I always had a potential mind to attack in Perth, but I really do need to go ahead and see where his carriers do turn up, really. Yeah, I mean, what I'm thinking is it would be nice to potentially move out into this area. I mean, it could lead us a few options, lend us a few options. Possibly so. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it could be actually really quite intriguing to make a move on, say, Lon. But I think we'd obviously need to deal with Rangoon before that. But I think we'll have to see there, really. Yeah, support of the Landons to an extent. I'd love to try and figure out what his shipping is. If we could actually sink a significant amount of his shipping, I'd be quite happy. I have a feeling that he may have a lot of actual shipping in these areas here, like Calcutta and just this sort of zone here. So if we could actually get in there and actually have the carriers run amok and essentially sink a good deal of forces here, that'd be nice. The Repulse was sunk. The Prince of Wales managed to linger around and she made it out. I imagine she'll be in some base repairing now if she didn't go down to flotation damage, but I imagine she's alive somewhere. We'll probably see her in a while. She'll eventually show up one day, and then we'll just torpedo her. If we can. We'll have to see about that. Okay. Still waiting for these units to recover their fatigue. That's not too bad, really. I'll let that disruption recover, and then we'll go ahead and attack again. I don't know about Australia. I think Australia might be a little bit out there. He does have these off-map bases. Let's see. Cape Town has 80,000 tons of repair capacity. He's probably gone to Cape Town. Probably like Cape Town, something like that. Yes. I can't remember which ship it was now. Yeah, that's intriguing. So they actually arrived back. It looks like they have just arrived back over here, which is excellent. So we can have them disbanded here. I'm glad that they have made it back. We can have them repaired now. Kotori, The heavy cruiser Kako needs to actually have first priority. That's pretty unnormal. Did that just go to critical? And I didn't mean it to go to critical. There we go. Yeah, that's it, Prince of Wales, there we go. Yeah, I knew it was something important. I couldn't remember which ship it was then. But yes, there we go. And we had a Ultra report last turn signaling that Prince of Wales is still in service. She was damaged to a decent degree. So I don't imagine we'll see her for a long while. But when she does show up, she'll be a formidable foe, but not a foe that we can't take on, really. God, I'm clicking everything bloody wrong here. Right, there we go. You think I'd be used to, like, multitasking by now? There we go. BLeAcHACiD, which is a Kilgore class, which is nicer. They're good ships. Not a tremendously long time of repair in here, really. Right, there we go. So that does actually free up some PBs that we could use elsewhere, then we'll have to figure out a purpose for them. So we do have our forces amassing over here. I need to go ahead and control the hex sides. Easier said than done in a lot of ways. Right, so these forces have moved out ahead, which is not too bad. We see 6 units over here, we do see 3 units over here. But the incredible thing is, he has ceded the wooded rough. He has ceded the ×3 terrain, and that is a mistake on his part, really. He should not have ceded that terrain. If he has 6 units over here and another 3 units here, he should not have ceded that terrain. By ceding that ×3 terrain, he has really handicapped his defense now. He can obviously put up a fight, but it's just never going to be as strong of a fight as it is here. That's going to be pretty rough for him. I'm going to look towards trying to free up more forces to head this way, but that's rough for him. That's not good for him. Yeah, so we've been fighting in ×2 terrain here at Quaylin. And I don't particularly mind that. We'll manage it, we'll deal with any bases like... Well, we'll deal with it like we deal with any other base. We'll go with deliberate attacks, rest, deliberate attack, rest, deliberate attack, rest. As long as that's tying up supply and men, that's still good. Right. So if I take a look over here then, 91... I could potentially just go ahead and actually have them... I'll have them await the rest of the units to arrive here. So I'll go ahead and place them into rest mode for the time being. Allowing them to recover to some extent while the rest of the troops actually do catch up. He's not going to attack us in ×3 terrain, he'd have to march here anyway. But it's not a bad idea then just to allow them to quickly rest. Okay. Have them move into ops mode. There we go. And do you have any air power in China? We do have air power in China, we just haven't been especially using it as much. Well, actually, no, I say that. The vast majority of the actual light bombs in China have been shifted out. They're not especially needed, for the most part. We are making progress here without them. Obviously, they'll be useful, but meh. So that's a lot of units to have tied up by... I mean, granted, it's 672 AV, but that's 19 units tied up by 4 units. That's a lot. I haven't saved it as of yet, therefore, but I think I think I did save it earlier. Did I save it earlier? I might have saved it earlier. I'll save it now. I forgot. Q jump his bombers. We don't really have bombers to attack his airfield. We could potentially like, use fighters, but it looks like he moved the majority of his air power into Burma, which, fair enough. Okay, so we do have divisions moving north. I do have these divisions heading here to... they're marching to Luoyang. Which, okay. We'll likely have them head over here. 4 units is easier to deal with than the 19 here. He also does have the luxury to fall back, but if I can put pressure on here, we'll do that. I might potentially have them moved here, or potentially move them here, then... yeah, I'd likely go for moving here, then try to march across this hex over here if we could. That'd be quite nice. I do have units that are assembling over here. You can see a couple of units have arrived this turn. So that road's going to be quite key. It's going to be difficult, but we'll eventually break through. I'll eventually grind him down, ideally. What's more or less keeping him afloat in China at this moment in time is the Burma Road. With the fall of Singapore, we do finally have the ability to begin... we'll be able to deal with Java, then begin moving AV. We'll have AV able to be moved into Burma, I should say. We just need to take a look at what we have, what we need for Java, and what we can actually have available for Burma. We'll have a decent amount. Okay. I don't know why I'm moving all these base forces, these battalions here. A lot of these battalions I'd like to actually have head out of China, to be honest. I don't really need much in the way of aviation support, but I do need more aviation support elsewhere. So I think I might have a couple of these taken, in fact. A lot of them are still, so they'd have to load up, but I'd like to have a couple of them shifted out. Having one or two is not too bad, because we could use them for potentially forward reconnaissance or forward base and cap or something like that. I'm going to need some aviation support at SunYan in the future, but I can probably do with a lot of these taken out of here. Okay. So a lot of these fellows are planning for Xiaoyang. A lot of these are planning for Xi'an. Have them planned for Xi'an. So at least we have a decent amount of plans. So eventually we will arrive there. Eventually we will arrive. Ideally we can drive him to the point where he doesn't have that much in way of supply. I've got to be mindful that there is a force around this road here somewhere. But that's not too bad. Okay. I might as well have them planned for something useful. See, if I place a unit there, he crosses the river and he shocks attack into that. I'd prefer to have a unit in the Wooded Rough, but I'm not going to have enough AV to deal with these forces, but we could potentially try it as an option in the near future. A brigade would be preferable. A division would be best, but we'll see what we have available. See, I might even have that regiment moved down this way, but we could potentially have this regiment formed into its division. Right, yes, it's this division, okay, never mind. No, but this is it. We have a good chunk of his actual power here tied up. I mean, 41 units. I don't know, it's crazy. It is essentially crazy. Does he, I don't know, I can't guess, but surely he doesn't believe that we're going to be crossing the river there. I do not have enough AV in central China to be able to do that. I wouldn't desire to cross the river against that sort of force there. So, okay. Kind of crazy. But I don't mind it. He's enlarged the airfield to size 2, but okay, that's fine. That's using more supply. He's using supply to expand the airfield, so he can actually store more supply here. But then why does he want to store more supply here? Why doesn't he just move these units elsewhere where they could actually be more useful? I mean, Xi'an is under pressure. Not much pressure right now, but still under pressure. Lin is under pressure. He could do things. He could do different things. But I don't know what else he's doing behind the scenes, so who knows? Yeah, I would like to have those divisions there. There's one of those divisions I could do with actually being... Well, 288 is not too bad. They could do with some time to recover at some point in the future. Their TOE is not bad at all. It's just I need to have the actual disabled recovered. But we'll deal with that when we deal with that. So I do have a number of tank regiments here. I really want to know what's on this road. If this road is clear, I would be so very happy. I doubt it's... I don't know, maybe. Maybe it is and maybe it is. Because he has 8 units here. Did he bring all the forces from Yunnan? See, if he's brought all the forces from Yunnan, that could be quite a strong force. We'd shock attack across the river into ×2. He would have units with their own personal fortifications, but he wouldn't have any fortifications of base. Right. But we'll see. I mean, if we have the ability, I'd rather march down that road. That road would be preferable. We have to have pressure here. He's going to be aware that there's surely a mountain number of men here. So we'll see. But yes, I need a couple divisions moving here. Get those divisions from Luoyang to here, and then begin to cross over. That'd be nice. Okay. No, it's good to have things working out. That's nice. I'm glad we see some progress here. Very glad about it. Right. No engineers here, which is amazing. Good thing it's not damaged. A lot of battalions here. A lot of battalions. I can have a lot of that aviation support moved up to Chiang Mai. Yes, we are getting oil out of Borneo. We do have more tankers moving over here to Marie. I had them lingering in BLeAcHACiD for far too long. But we will be getting oil and fuel out. I pulled out a little bit of fuel, but we need to get it moving more. Let's see. Take that one there. More aviation support over here at Chiang Mai would be very much appreciated. We've kind of been stagnated on aviation support in the north, so we have been rectifying that situation slowly but surely. Okay, so we have these units here that are loading out, is good. AA is nice, it's just not tremendous. I'd have to think when I'd want to have at AA. It might be worthwhile more to actually have it protect something like Palembang, because I don't actually have flak much here. I do have a little bit of flak, but I think I'd rather get more flak here to Palembang. I understand what you mean, like, it would be potentially useful over here. We do have a field AA gun company, which is still not bad. A couple 80 mils. Maybe, maybe not, we'll see. How crazy is the learning curve on this game? In fairness, you can play against the AI. The AI is more forgiving than a human opponent, of course. It's harder to play the Japanese because there's just a lot that you have to do in the early days. Like, the pressure is definitely on you as the player on the offensive. It's a good thing to start as the allies. Play as the allies, you get an idea of... You get a good sense of how to play the game. You will obviously be able to play the game. But you'll obviously not learn about the industry mechanics that Japan has. But you get to learn how to play the game. So what I'd say is when the game does go on sale, if you don't already have it, then play the Americans, play the Allies, and you'll have a fun time. And then progress on to play by emails. When I'm kind of like crazy, I always like to play the harder side, and I like a challenge. Even when it physically hurts sometimes. Which sounds a bit ambiguous now that I've said that. Take that back. Recant that one. So I do have some paratroopers over here that can derive. I'd like to make more use of them. Yeah, but the thing is, therefore, you've got to think we'll have fighters. Fighters are significantly more effective than AA. I know what you mean there, but if I have some spare AA, I could go ahead and actually send some out to Chiang Mai. But we'll be using fighters for the most part. There's no learning curve, it's a learning cliff. There are tons of things to learn. I've been playing for 10 years and still learn details. Yeah, exactly it. Is it available? Yes, it's only on the actual website there. It will be on sale. Yeah, as the chorus says there, just waiting on the sale. It goes on a great sale. There's always a great sale. I think I've been talking about the sale for like the last 3 to 4 years, which is kind of crazy at this point in time now. Well, me, it's a case of I hate AI. Well, that's it, isn't it? It's always better against a human opponent. If you can find somebody who'd like to play this game but hasn't played this game or has played this game, and you're friends with them, that's a good point. Or even on the forum, just say, look, new player looking to learn how to play the game. I'd be eager to start to play by email, and just go easy on my bacon. Or go hard. You always learn the lessons from the defeats. Right, march on to jumping. We know there's a unit out in front. We'll eventually catch up to it. He's moving these men out here. But that's fine. Need to move on to Lahat. We might be able to catch them up due to the fact that they probably have a lot of disruption and fatigue on them. No, it's looking good. We have the division over here, then we have 4th Division here, which is looking good. 4th Division's in really good shape. They're currently planned for Semarang, which is a bit of a wasted time, in all honesty. Better to plan for Batavia, really. It's a waste of those days, but it's better to plan for a target you actually do need it for. How you doing there, Helen? Yeah, I got it for S myself for like $10. Yeah, that's it. You can essentially get all the Warren V X games for sale. For a really good price when they're on sale. Right, so I have some units over here that I do need to go ahead and pick up. Uh-huh. Right then. So over here in this area, in this theatre we'll say, I do have these units moving here. I do have full fleet. Full fleet is quite useful because it does allow you to actually use torpedoes. Is it a command headquarters? Yes. Full fleet is a command HQ, so it does allow the use of torpedoes. We already have the usage of torpedoes enabled by the actual air division over here. But it does give me something to potentially work with there, because I could potentially shift it maybe a little bit further out there. And possibly reposition it if I wanted to do so, but for now it's in a good position. But yeah, it allows us to actually have that naval support over here at Luganville. Luganville I probably will build up to a size 3 port in the future, so it's actually protected really. That'd be ideal. But we'll see about that. Okay. I should land in Java before April. You lose your bonus the 1st of April. We're not going to be able to really do it that quick. I could potentially take Semarang in that time. So I could start it by taking Semarang. We could do Semarang. At least that's a size 5 port, so we can get that done. We'll aim to take Semarang then. I could probably take Semarang by using paratroopers in all honesty. There's only like 1 unit there. He has the majority of them over here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll be able to go for that then. It's a good reason to be hasty there, isn't it? For good point. No, we're looking good. Looking good. Glad it's finally fallen. Okay. Righto. So we had success out here, which is fun. I like that. We'll go ahead and check on our signal intelligence. San Fran, Pearl Harbor, Semarang, Tacoma, Swaltao, San Diego. Swaltao is interesting. Considering it's my base. So why do I have detection on my own base? Does that... Does he have, like, a sub there? I'm not too sure. It's kind of weird. Yeah, la resistance. Okay. How would you compare this game to Operational Art of War? I've seen Operational Art of War. I do have Operational Art of War, but I haven't really played Operational Art of War. So I don't really know how to make a comparison there, to be honest. Do you have any current plans regarding Nambon? I'd love to just nuke it, to be honest. That'd be nice. No, we need to get a couple more units here. He's probably been flying in, I'd imagine, from elsewhere. But if he's doing that, then okay, it's not a big deal. It's one of those when I do need to resolve it to free up the AV. So we'll have a couple... I do have a few Naval Guard units I could have prepared, sent to Ambon. He probably still has the coastal guns, but I don't imagine that much of a problem now. But yeah, I just need to bombard it. Maybe we need more AV, maybe we don't. But a bombardment there would be nice and very much appreciated. Yeah. No, it's been a pain there. A lot of the mistakes that we made in this campaign, well, that I made in this campaign, I've been able to rectify in the Admiral Dadman campaign. But it's still mistakes made in that game that I'll be able to rectify in future games, which is cool. It'd be nice to get like a sponsorship from like Matrix or Slytherin just to play this all the time. That'd be nice. I would like a sash. Yeah, like a mayoral sash, not slash. That'd be nice. Okay. Right, Southern Army. Chiang Mai. So it's about 1,000 miles there. It'll take them a few days to arrive there. It might take them about a week or so to arrive there. But that'll be quite good for us. So that's going to be very nice. We'll be able to turn the focus, we'll be able to turn the pressure up over here. I do have these aviation battalions moving up to Mulmian, so I do intend to actually make use of Mulmian as an actual airbase, considering it's a size 4. He seems to march the unit back over here as far as I can tell. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have the 12 hours where I do talk, and then you have the 12 hours where I just sleep, and then that's a quiet time. I've heard some say it's akin to watching grass grow. Oh yes, if you go ahead and join my Discord pistol, I've got a nice little War of the Pacific community, and the good news about it is the fact that I don't even have to manage it, which is nice. And essentially, I'm hosting it. It doesn't really have that much to do with me, which is pretty cool. I don't want it to be, like, about what I do, per se. I want it to be about what the community does. Like, everybody having their own games, which is nice. And I like that. Right, have these tankers here, then. So, of course, we do need logistics moving. We do have logistics moving out. Yeah, a couple of units of hand supply moving in there. I do need more fuel down here, truck. I need a lot more fuel down here. 29 is nowhere near enough, frankly. Okay. Yeah, that's it, exactly. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and do that, Gary, that'd be appreciated. So, that's been a big mistake. Spanner Vista size 7. Wasn't really a need for it. But that was before we understood how to rearm properly. Well, before I understood how rearmament worked properly. And before I'd learned of the magic that is the AKE. Okay, we're looking pretty good. Yeah, no, looking pretty good. And we do have things in motion. I'm going to have to go ahead and work on... we'll land over here at Semarang. I'd recommend joining Pistol. It's worthwhile. I know that sounds like I'm going to, of course, toot my own horn, but... it's really not that much to do with me. I don't even do that much on the Discord. Frankly, I'm glad that people make use of it as something of a host, if anything. Like a forum, almost. Yes, right. So we do have the paratroopers potentially land take these bases here. I mean, this is it. In fairness, I could potentially have the division march here on Sotomayor and then manage with that. Divisions will be made available from the north, heading south. Yeah, no, it really is worthwhile there, Helen, in my opinion. Of course, I'm always free to answer questions to the best of my knowledge, and there are others who can answer questions. We do have Andy Mack on there as well. He's one of the actual developers of War of the Pacific Admirals Edition. He's around and about here and there. Sometimes he does pop in to answer some questions for people, but no, he's a great guy too. Okay, now we're looking pretty good here. I'm going to have to take a look at this and likely do like a summary video of some nature, and we'll go about and do great things there. Yeah, I am too lazy there to manage it particularly well, Grim. But that's fine. It's kind of like how I am as a person. Like, I'm really anal about some things, but other things I'm fairly chilled. I could do like a moderator. I do have two proper moderators. But they don't really have that much that they have to do, in all honesty. So, it's not really had much of a need for one. Which works. But yeah, I'm probably quite lazy on the Discord front. But as long as people have fun, then that's the main objective there completed. So thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Quite the turnabout today. Quite happy about that. It does actually put some vigor back into our step on here, really. Yeah, as Akalaris says there. By the way, do go ahead and check out Akalaris on YouTube. He is a great guy. Definitely recommend it. And while you're doing that, check out Battle Group Gamer and Commissar Roach. Good guys, all. And Richard York. Yeah, he'd be angry if I didn't mention him. Do those. And THD as well. The Historical Gamer, yeah, we'll go for that. I need to have like a long list. But thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have an excellent day, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye for now. I assume in SI. Goodbye.